I'm Tradu, and this is the second video in my series of Mythic kill VOD reviews, where I go through my kills as we progress through the raid, and then I give some tips and point out some mistakes that I made that could be done better. We are now on the second boss, Igira, and let's start out with the talents, which don't have anything too notable. It's just like on Nalroot, it's single target with Shadow Crash, and it's the tanky setup in the class tree. I had Master Spell set up, so Master Spell and Phantasm, because just a dead point doesn't really matter. Because on PTR, the boss had a Dispel thing from the group talk. They removed that, and I didn't really notice. So I just went in with Master Spell just in case. In reality, it should have been just the standard tankier setup, where it's spell warding instead of Phantasm Master Spell. But yeah, like that's the talent setup. For trinkets, I just play boring, safe things at the moment. Branch and old Neltharion trinket. On this fight, you could probably get decent results out of a Suncaller. I have one, but I didn't feel like playing it just because the downside of taking more damage while you're already standing in all the spears just didn't feel worth it. And the spears were dying just fine, so I didn't need to. Again, this didn't take many pulls for us. I think like 3 or 4 or something. So it's not super optimized. I'm just kind of winging it. But yeah, let's see what happens. On pull, similar to Nalroot, not a lot happens. Like a few seconds in, you get the spears. We place them in a triangle on the world markers roughly that we have. Double stack them, blow them up. You have Shadow Crash. The only reason you have it is to press it directly in the middle of the triangle. These things, the blades, you just dodge unless you're a Demon Hunter. Shadow Crash is ready for every set of spears. Just hold it for that for like a couple seconds. No idea why I targeted our mage there, that was dumb. But again, just slam Shadow Crash in the middle, dodge the blades, and then you get the torments. For the first ones, we have a group assigned to soak them. It's like our warlocks, hunter, and somebody else, and the tanks, I think. So they go over, soak the first weapon to ensure that we get the setup that we want to have. Here you can get a Void Torrent off. I got a bit unlucky with the Swirly. If I'd Void Torrented early on pull, that wouldn't have been an issue at all. But I delayed it a little bit, so I ended up having to cancel it here, which is just an unfortunate snowball effect that can happen. After the intermission, it's going to be basically the same thing again. You get some spears, you stack them in the triangle, and then it's going to be the heal, absorb, leap overlap. I don't get the spears in the first set, so I just walk away, drop my crash. I shouldn't have run this far away, there was no point. And I also missed crash on the far one here. You can see these people got the healing absorbs, so we have assigned that you just press your health potion when you get them. As a Shadow Priest, that can actually be kind of annoying to pull off, because chances are, like nothing else happens going into the absorbs, so you'll be full health. You'll have a bit of an absorb from a Devouring Plague when Plague Touch overhealing. So you might just be full health, and you can't health pot at full health. But luckily, we have technology. In this case, it's not an issue, I'm not full health. But you can Shadow of Death for the self-damage, just to make sure you're actually allowed to press your health pot. For the first time in recorded history, the self-harm actually has a valuable use in PV, so that's cool and exciting. Yeah, but then it's just back to doing spears, stacking them. You can see one of the range is edging it as close as possible. That's basically what you want to do. You want as closely stacked spears as possible without clipping the other stack, because some people with shit gear might die. Another thing you'll notice is that we've had 2 people dead literally forever. We'll have even more deaths later. This fight is not something that's going to be like rough in terms of DPS. The spears might get a bit annoying if too many people die, but as long as you make it through the fight, the DPS check is extremely lenient. Now we're in the second intermission Soaky phase. I'm assigned to soak that along with the other ranged. I think it's like our mage and evoker and some healers probably. And then the third soak is going to be everybody else, which basically means the melee. And the tanks are soaking every time, so no reason to really mention them. After the intermission, it's just back to the same thing again. It's just spears, and then it's going to be soak, where we have melee soaking first, and then ranged to the second. And then after the soak, it's the leaps. And then it's back to more spears. There's nothing to think about in terms of the PS CDs. You just press them on cooldown. There's no like overlaps or anything that you need to hold them for. You just press them to get as many uses as possible, which means you have room to hold in case you're playing some awkward cooldown trinket. Yeah, so here I just take some spear damage for no reason. We have another guy die to overlapping spears. First soak is the melee. Second soak is the ranged. First soak was the melee. Then he does the jumpies, where nothing too worrying really. Try to stay close, just so you can get healed, because getting healed is cool. Even though my healers hate me and don't do it, you try to stay close. One minor thing you'll notice, my PI target is Draco usually. When he was dead, I had a PI come up, so I just sent it on word up instead, just to have a target. Zelian, our rogue, is already getting a PI, so giving him another one doesn't really do much. And word up is hitting. Sorry, this is word up. Word up is hitting pretty hard. He's killing spears, so he's just a solid backup target. Here you'll note I also decease to damage. I could have saved myself with Desperate Prayer if I was paying attention, but I wasn't. So we're back to just sitting and watching. Now it's the final soak. This is going to be whoever didn't soak other things. Like you'll see our Bunkin didn't soak other things for some reason. I guess he wasn't assigned. And then it's the melees and tanks again. And then the boss just flops before you do any of the mechanics from the third weapon. Which is great because that's the one you don't want to play ideally. It's going to be the heal absorb along with the tank soak, which is just an awkward overlap that you don't want to worry about really. So here you can see the spears again. They spread them out quite a bit. This is something I also point out, I think, on TeamSpeak, but basically this set of spears should have been much closer. These are the heal absorbs again. You just play them and then you win. Ideally the boss would have died even earlier if I'd been alive. But it is what it is. And there's the legs that I end up getting and catalyzing after writing a note eventually. So yeah. Thank you for watching. That was Igira, and next up is going to be Volcaros and then Council, which should both hopefully be very soon. So thank you for watching, and see you on the next one.